Hey guys, good morning. Today we're going to be doing multiplication of fractions, okay? So this week is going to be easy. You'll like multiplying and dividing fractions because guess what? You do not have to have the same denominator. So you can skip that step of doing the LCD, okay? But there is one extra thing here. When you're multiplying and dividing fractions, you don't have to find the LCD, but you do have to turn mixed numbers into improper fractions, okay? So go ahead and press pause, copy the notes down, make sure you do skip some lines here so we can do some work, okay? And then we'll press play and I'll go over it. Okay, so steps. Not too many steps, okay? The first step, we're not doing LCD, but you do have to turn any mixed number into an improper fraction. And if you remember, go back to your notes, it's the Texas wheel, okay? It's when you multiply your denominator times your whole number and add the numerator, okay? So we're going to be doing that, the Texas wheel. Then once you do that, it's really easy, really easy. You multiply your numerators. So it's numerator times numerator. And then you multiply the denominators, denominator times denominator. And then, of course, always the fourth step, simplify if you need to, okay? So take a look at the first problem. 2/3 plus 1/4. There we go. First thing you look for, I don't care about the denominators, okay? It doesn't matter that they're different right now. It's okay that they are different, all right? Sorry if that was blocking. I didn't notice my head was in the way. And if you don't want me to put my face up here, I can take it away. Okay, just let me know as a private comment. I'm tired of seeing you, Miss Munoz. All right, so right here, instead of looking at the denominators, I'm looking for a mixed number. And on this case, I don't see a mixed number. So we can go ahead and do step number 2. We're going to multiply numerator times numerator. So 2 times 1 is what we're doing. 2 times 1. And then denominator times denominator. And this one is 3 times 4. Okay? So now you multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. And ask yourself, can I simplify 2 12ths? Definitely. Okay, they're both even numbers, so I can always start off by dividing both of them by 2. Remember, they have to be divided by the same number. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 2/3 times 1/4 is 1/6. So again, numerator times numerator gives you your answer here. Denominator times denominator gives you your answer there. And then simplify at the end if you need to. Okay, good. So let's try this one. Again, lucky for us, they're two proper fractions. I don't need to look at the denominator. They're perfectly fine if they're different, okay? And so we're going to follow the steps of multiplication. Numerator times numerator, okay? So 1 times 7, 7. Good. And then denominator times denominator. So 2 times 9, 18. Step 4, can you simplify 7 and 18? No. So your final answer is 7/18. Okay, good. Go ahead and let's do these now. Now on number 3, I see a whole number with a fraction. That's a mixed number, okay? So again, I mean the denominators are different, that's fine, but the mixed numbers, we don't want mixed numbers, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do the Texas wheel. So if you remember, T, X, and we're going to do 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. That's my new numerator, okay? And the denominator, if it was a 3 here, it's a 3 there, okay? Let's try that process again. T, X, or Texas. We're going to do 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 plus 1, 5. And your denominator was a 2. It stays a 2. Okay? So now that we've incorporated the whole number into an improper fraction, now I can go ahead and multiply. Okay, so if you remember the multiplication process, pretty easy again. It's just like before, now that we've changed everything. Numerator times numerator. So 10 times 5, 50. Okay, denominator times denominator, 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, now last step is simplifying. Now, you have two options here. I see an improper fraction, but I also see two even numbers. So you can do simplifying first, so I can simplify 50 and 60 first and then divide, or I can divide and then simplify. It's up to you. Me personally, I like to simplify my fraction first before I divide. That way I have smaller numbers to deal with. Okay, I'm trying to make it easier for me. All right. So I see 50 and I see 6, and I know that they're both even numbers, so I can definitely divide these by 2. Okay, so that's always a good starting point with even numbers. So I'm going to divide both the numbers by 2. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, now I'm looking at 25 and 3. I know 3 cannot go into 25, so I'm pretty much done. I can't simplify that fraction any further, but it's still improper. So I need to change this improper fraction into a proper fraction. Do you remember how to do that? We divide it out. So 25 goes in, 3 stays out, okay? So 3 goes into 2, 0. That's just my placeholder, okay, because I want to make sure everything's aligned. 3 goes into 25 8 times, and I have a 1 for a remainder 1. That's an R, remainder 1. So you remember how to write the answer out? Okay, so I'm going to put it up here. 8 is my whole number. My remainder is my numerator. And my denominator is going to be whatever I had here, whatever before I divided here. So it's going to be 8 1/3. Just like that. Okay. Let me highlight my answer here so we know this is the answer to the problem. Just like that. Okay. So the process again, change your mixed numbers into improper fractions by doing the Texas wheel. Okay, once you have that done, you multiply straight across. So numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and lastly, simplify your answers, okay? And if you have an improper fraction, divide it to get your mixed number at the end, okay? Good. So let's try this one now. Number 4. I see 2 1/3 times 4. So I see a mixed number times a whole number, okay? So I have to turn this one into a improper fraction. So there's my TX for Texas. And I'm going to do 3 times 2, which is 6. 6 plus 1, which is 7. And your denominator comes down to the answer. Okay? Now 4. I need to turn this into an improper fraction. You need to remember how to go from a whole number into an improper fraction. Do you remember? There's a specific number that goes underneath here. It's a 1. Okay, so anytime you see a whole number by itself, stick a 1 underneath it, and now you have improper fraction. Now we can go ahead and multiply. So numerator times numerator. So that is going to be 7 times 4 is 28. And then denominator times denominator. So that's going to be 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, now before I change it into a mixed number, because obviously this is improper because the bigger number's on top, I'm going to go ahead and ask myself, can I simplify 28 and 3? And no, I can't. Okay, so it's simplified as far as it can go. So I'm going to go ahead and now divide my problem. So 28 goes inside, 3 stays outside. 3 cannot go into 2, so there's my placeholder. 3 into 28, 9 times. And you have a remainder of a 1. Okay, so the quotient is my whole number, 9. The remainder is my numerator, And my denominator was whatever it was here, which was a 3. And there's my final answer. 2 1/3 times 4 is 9 1/3. Okay? I have a couple more. I want to make sure you get all the examples you have, okay? 1 2/3 times 2. So again, mixed number and whole number. So first step, let's do that Texas wheel because I want all pretty improper fractions, okay? So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. Denominator stays the same. Whole number. Remember what we put underneath any whole number that's by itself? We put a 1 underneath it. Okay, because if I divide 2 divided by 1, I get the whole number 2. That's why that works, okay? Now, numerator times numerator. So 5 times 2, 10. Denominator times denominator, 3 times 1 is 3. I asked myself, can I simplify 10 and 3? No, I can't. There's no number. So now that I know that, it's simplified down, I can go ahead and change this improper fraction into a mixed number by dividing. 10 divided by 3. 3 can go into 1. There's my placeholder. 3 goes into 10 3 times, okay, with a remainder of 1, okay? So your quotient is your whole number, the remainder is your numerator, and your denominator stays the same. So 1 2/3 times 2 is 3 1/3. Okay? And the last one, easy one, okay? I do not see any mixed numbers here, so I don't have to change anything. I don't see any whole numbers just by itself, so again, I don't have to change that either. I just see 2 proper fractions. So we go ahead and do numerator times numerator. So 1 times 1 is 1. Believe it or not, a lot of students, when we go too fast, we put a 2 right there. I've done it before, where I say 1 times 1 and I put 2. Okay, our brain is just working too fast. So just slow it down. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, and then denominator times denominator. So 8 times 9, 72. Anytime you have 1 as a numerator, you can't simplify anything any further. You're pretty much done. Okay, good job, guys. All right, you ready for some try it outs? See how you're doing? Okay, and if you always have questions, come to the Google Meets or send me a private comment. Perfectly fine. All right, go ahead and press pause and try these 3 problems out. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, see how you did. Okay, I love highlighters, so they help you a lot with fractions. So let's see how you did. You should have done numerator times numerator. On this one, I don't see any mixed numbers, so it was just that. And then, oops, denominator times denominator was 5 times 7 is 35. I know that I can't simplify it, so I am done. So you should have got 6 over 35 for your first answer. You did good. Okay. Now you're doing awesome. Fractions, you see, they're not scary. They're not your enemy, they're your friends. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. 2 4/7 times 1 1/3. Now on this one, I do see mixed numbers, so I'm going to have to do the Texas wheel. I'm going to have to convert them, okay? So here's Texas. Here comes the wheel. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 4, 18 over 7. How'd you do on that one? So far, so good? Okay. Times, here's Texas. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 1, 4. Denominator stays the same. Did y'all convert them correctly? Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and do the math now. 18 times 4. Let me put my answer down here. Okay, 18 times 4. Oh, 4 times 8 is 32. 72. And that's a 7, okay? And then 7 times 3 is 21, okay? Now, I don't know if you saw this, but I know that I can simplify these 2 by 3, okay? If you did not see it here, you saw it at the end, we should get the same answer, okay? So I'm going to simplify this. 72 divided by 3 goes to 4, and this goes 7, okay? And that's as far as I can go. Now I'm going to go ahead and find the mixed number here by doing 24 divided by 7. That goes 0. That goes 3. So I get remainder 3. Okay? So your answer up here should have been 3 whole number, 3 numerator, 7 denominator. 3 3/7 is our final answer. Oh, that was a long one. Okay, last one. See how y'all did on this one. You should have taken 4 and put it over 1. Yes. And then do our Texas wheel. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay. And then numerator times numerator. So 3 times 4 is 12. And then denominator times denominator. 2 times 1 is 2. Now I see here that I can simplify. So I'm going to divide them both by 2. And that gives me 6 over 1. And I know this one, anything over 1 is its number. So if I divide 6 divided by 1, I get 6. So my answer up here is just 6. Whole number 6. Okay. How'd y'all do? Good. Okay. Double check your work. See where you made a mistake. Okay, remember I am checking these when we come back together. So you should have everything I have here, guys. I have everything here. Okay, and I'll be looking at it, comparing them. All right. Go ahead and work on your assignment. You can watch the other video if you need to for some extra help. If you have questions, go ahead and come to me during Google Meets or send me a private comment, because sometimes y'all get to these like later on in the day. If you send me a private comment, I'll answer you, okay? And I've done it before where a student needs extra help. I'll turn on the Google Meets with them and we'll have a one-on-one session, okay? So you can do that as well. Just send me private comments because those are the ones that give me a notification and I'll see it quicker, okay? All right, guys, that's it for the day. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good day.